Hey friends, Levi here, and we are in Florence, the adventure van, and I'm really excited about that. This is the first tutorial being brought to you from within the van, and I'm feeling really good about this. As you can tell, I'm pretty excited. And today's special because for the first time, I'm going to share with you guys how to edit a project in Premiere from beginning to end. A lot of you guys have been asking for this, and so I'm going to deliver, but with a special twist. I'm actually going to focus more specifically on creating vlog content or creating regular episodic content, because I know a lot of you guys are trying to get into this, but it can be quite challenging to develop a system or a flow of work that you can actually tackle these projects and keep them coming, because we all know if it's a hassle, we're just going to probably drop our commitments and stop doing it eventually. But if we develop systems and if we get good at using strategies, it can actually be a lot of fun. And I really enjoy creating Left Coast Life. And so that's where I'm hoping to help you guys out today. Okay, I'll show you my actual setup of what my vlog looks like right now, Left Coast Life. In here, I have episodes 31 to 54. So usually I have roughly 20 to 25 vlogs sort of on my project drive at a time before they move to like archive, where I'm not going to touch them again for probably a long time. So that means in my Premiere product files, usually I can have up to about 20 episodes in one Premiere product file. Usually around 20 is kind of the most that I'll do in one Premiere product file, because then it kind of gets a little sluggish and takes longer to open and longer to autosave. But then I just start the whole process over. I move all those guys to archive and I keep on going. So we're going to look at first, when you got media on a card, this is your first vlog. The first precious vlog is on this card. What do? Let's check it out. Okay, so the first step is deciding where on your computer is this media going to exist, because it needs to go somewhere. You need to have a folder structure you're going to put it in. Unlike a program like iTunes or even Final Cut Pro 10, when you import your media into those programs, it actually brings it over into its own little folder and it kind of organizes it for you by these little date things or albums or artists. In Premiere, it actually doesn't work like that at all. When you have a Premiere project open and you import media, it actually just leaves those files where they are on your hard drive. So it's entirely up to you to make sure that they're in a good location, because if you change those locations or if the project file moves in, the project file actually doesn't know where the media went to. So that's why we're going to set this up right the first time to avoid the frustrations. So I like to have weekly based content based in one folder. So let's call this Bob's Vlog. So Bob, if you're out there, we're making you a vlog today, buddy. Hopefully you're excited. And inside Bob, essentially just for each episode, I just number that folder. So it's pretty straightforward in that regard, where episode 1 is just 01. But then what I like to do is in that folder name, just have some sort of tag or word that references what the content is or what week of life that was. So in this case, the vlog that we're going to edit together today is called Sprinter Getting Stuck. So I'm just going to tag that Sprinter Getting Stuck, just so it's in the name of the folder there. So that's where we're going to put all our raw media into. So over here, I have my A7S card. So I'm just going to highlight all of the stuff inside of my A7S card. I like taking all of it over because folder structure for some cameras is important. So I like just keeping that standard. I make a folder called A7S, just that's my A7S camera, and I copy all the A7S contents into that folder. And if I had a drone card, I would make a folder called drone. It's pretty simple, and I'd import all my drone media there. And usually I have an iPhone shot or two that I want to use in the vlog, so I'll show you how I import that. Okay, so my iPhone's plugged in, and I open up an application called Image Capture. I hit sort by kind so I can find the movie files fastest, because I have a lot of stuff on my iPhone. So these are the movie files I'm looking for, but before I select them, I go down to here to the Import To box, and I select Other, and let's go to Bob's Vlog, because we're making Bob a vlog. Go into the folder, make a new folder called iPhone, and then I select the movie files I want, and then I hit Import. It's pretty simple. Okay, so as you can see, the logic here is in each episode number, the footage from which camera it was go into a folder called that camera. If in one case I had multiple A7S cards, then I'd go A7S1, A7S2, A7S3. You can actually label these folders anything you want, but I find it most convenient to label them after the camera. If you want to label it card 1, card 2, card 3, you can totally do that. But the key thing here is that when you import your media onto your hard drive into the right folders, that the media doesn't move, that's the structure that it stays in. Because if it starts to move around or folder names change and you're working out of a Premiere project, your media is going to become unlinked. Premiere's not going to know where it is. So if you did have your next episode, it would go, you start your next folder, 02, let's say Bob goes for a walk. And Just recreate the folders and copy the media. Okay, so for my vlog, I like to work out of the same Premiere project file for about 15 to 30 episodes. Once project files start to have a lot of content in them, they take a lot longer to open up and to autosave. So my rule of thumb is kind of around 15 to 30 episodes. So let's go through what it would look like to set up one of those project files. Okay, well, I hope you found that really valuable and you learned a thing or two. The next tutorial is on how to start a Premiere Pro project if you don't know how to do that. And I would actually love it if you joined the Left Coast Collective. The Left Coast Collective is where I teach all my adventure filmmaking stuff. All my videos actually get released to the people in the collective early. It's entirely free to join. Link is in the description. I'd love to have you. And another thing you could do that I'd really appreciate is you could send this video along to a friend. You could open up a message right now as you are watching this. You could go to your messaging device. You could say, hey, I watched the tutorial and I thought of you. Head over to leftcoast.co/edit-a-vlog. Exactly like that. Send them there. I'd really appreciate that. And until next time, remember, life's better when you make stuff.